Hey everyone, another bit of non-duality content for you, just to saturate the marketplace even more. I was umming and ahhing about whether to upload this video. There's a lot of content already on YouTube, and I know I've been in the position where you're kind of uncontrollably consuming non-duality content to get that dopamine hit. So I was a bit wary of recording and uploading this, but I think ultimately I can add some value to those who are seeking, and hopefully point, as everyone else is trying to point on YouTube, but point in a slightly different way that might help those who feel that they are stuck seeking. Ultimately, what I want to say is that the human experience is the answer, is where the answer is. I've noticed a lot of videos lately talking about abiding in awareness, resting in awareness. The kind of analogy of being behind, as it were, all of the content of awareness. It's not the answer at all. There isn't a behind and a foreground and a background, a behind and an in front. Your access point to experience is through the human element of it, through the sights, the sounds, the smell, the taste, the perception, the thought, the sensation. That is your reality, that is your access point. There's no other place that you can be. You can't be away from that. Those are your touch points to reality. That's how you engage with reality. That's how you know that anything exists, because something is happening right now. Could be anything, could be a thought, could be a sight, could be a sensation, could be a smell, whatever. But in any given moment, something is undeniably happening. And for us as humans, that is always the human experience of it. Yeah, there are altered states, with psychedelics, or maybe through very deep meditation that some people achieve, altered perceptions, or being fully blissed out, or, maybe feeling like an out-of-body experience where they can look back at their experience and maybe more embody that foreground, background kind of idea. But it's not reality. It's not normal life. It's not reality. The insight that these teachings are pointing to is that your human life is fine, is good as it is, and that is the human life is your touch point into the moment. Ultimately, what it's saying is that if you take any given moment in your day, and yeah, I'm using days and years and months as concepts. I still live in concepts. Every teacher who is a human on earth, who teaches non-duality, also lives as a human, and so plans their calendar by day, plans years ahead, has a schedule. It's too hyped up that these things fall away. They don't fall away. Your life just goes on. And so let's take any given moment of your day, literally from the moment you wake up until the moment you go to bed. It's full of what feel like individual moments, like a constant flow of moments moving through a period of time. If you take any of those moments, what's present in any of those moments is a combination of thoughts, sensations, smells, tastes, sights, sounds. That's what makes up any moment, So let's say this is what makes up any moment: thoughts, sounds, tastes, smells, sights. Let's just say those 5 for now. In any given moment, if you tune into what's happening, those are what's present in any moment. And what it feels like in that moment is that there's you in the middle that is experiencing these outward facing gateways. There's a little you in here, and there's 5, these senses that are allowing you to experience external reality. But I'm sure with your seeking, your ongoing seeking, trying to find the me, I'm sure that you haven't found yourself at the center of here, the one who experiences all of these things. We know from all the content on YouTube now that identity doesn't exist. So what's left? That is the insight. All that's left in any moment, if you're not this, is this. That's all there is. There's only a combination in any moment of the senses and thought and perception. That's all that's present. That's the key insight. And you don't need an experiential shift. You don't need your perceptions to shift. Yeah, sometimes people can have the feeling of depth perception, for example, being kind of less obvious. Sometimes people have altered states, experiential shifts, but you don't need that to be awakened. The key insight is that have you looked for this person, this identity in the middle that seems to see outwards and experience the world from inside? You can't find him or her. Okay, so what's left then? Just what is happening. There's just seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, and feeling, perceiving, and thoughts. That's all that there is in any moment. And the challenge is that the thoughts feel like an I. So one of the things that is present is saying I, so you think that it's an I. But that is as random as a sound that you hear or a sight that you see or something that you feel. Is all just appearing with no one in the middle of it seeing it. So there's just this ongoing, amalgamation of these senses, these sense gateways that feels like you. So when you say I, normally you're referring to that I that you perceive to be in the middle of these things. But the actual experience of I is just something happening now. It's the undeniable fact that something is happening. There is experiencing unfolding right now. That's what I feels like. That's what I is. I feels like that, this unfindable identity in the middle of experiencing, but we know that's not there. So the actual feeling of I is just the sensations. That's what I is. And what's ironic is that seeking is just under this thought category. And so it's appearing as randomly as anything else in your experience right now. The thoughts come up, I need to get here, I need to go there, are just random appearances, and they don't refer to a person in the middle that is seeking. There's no one to be seeking. All there is the seeking existing as part of everything else that's going on in any given moment. So what this insight does for you, if you can just tap into this moment right now, for example, when you can hear my voice, there's a tingle, for example, in your face that you can tune into, the bottom of your feet. Those kind of things can only be experienced right now. Can we agree on that? You can't experience a tingle on your face yesterday. You can think about a tingle on your face from yesterday, but the actual feeling of a tingle on your face can only happen right now. And when it's happening now is is the only time that you can not deny experience. Then you know that experience is happening when you can actually feel it. If I touch my face now, I can feel my hands rubbing through my stubble. And only then can I know that experiencing is real, because something is undeniably happening. Miraculously, out of the darkness, I seem to be experiencing right now in this very moment. And that's what they mean when they talk about the kind of infinite, the bottomless now. It's because you're only ever experiencing right now. Even the beginning of this video no longer exists. You can go back and watch it again, but that's just happening right now. It's always now. What this insight means is that nothing changes in your life. My life is exactly the same as before. before I kind of let this insight permeate. I still go to work. I still feel tension in my stomach. I presented on a panel at work the other day in front of about 60, 70 people. Of course, I felt apprehension. Beforehand, I was going over my, what I wanted to answer, the kind of points I wanted to get across. I had those butterflies, those feeling of nerves. I had thoughts, okay, I need to go and get the chair and bring it onto the stage, make sure the mic's turned on, all those kind of planning thoughts. And I just felt like the Louis from before. The difference is that you don't grasp at any of those narratives that go on, and you don't grasp or try and suppress the feelings. When I felt the tension before the panel, I fully recognized it transparently right then and there as just sensation arising in that moment. And that's not to reject it or suppress it. I felt it fully. It was part of my reality in that moment. It was beautiful, but I didn't grasp at it. I didn't try to push it away. I don't try and suppress the thoughts. Everything just flows, guys. Every moment is just a flow, an unfolding of the inevitable. And I fully expect to, for feelings and thoughts of suffering to arise, not wanting this to happen, wanting this to happen, always wanting to be somewhere else. It's a human condition. You're conditioned over, I've been conditioned over the last 32 years to think and operate in these ways, and my body and my nervous system doesn't just click like that. And so I know that people say awakening is an instantaneous experience. Firstly, you don't need any experience. It doesn't necessarily happen in one moment. It can be a gradual thing. And secondly, even if you do have a dropout Kensho moment where suddenly it's like there's no one there, that's fine. But ultimately, this insight continues to permeate for your whole human life. I've heard Rupert Spira say this as well. He's fully on the same page. Like him included, he's spoken about his suffering. He could be triggered. Sages have the insight, but it's still being wired into them. Your human conditioning is very, very strong, and so don't be fooled that this is going to change overnight. Like, once you are seeing the insight that we've spoken about, there's no one there. All there is present is the current unfolding of the moment without anyone in the middle of it. That still needs to permeate throughout your existence. And so for me now, in the example of the panel again, the feeling of tension rose, apprehension, thoughts about what I need to do. It's all beautiful. It's all staying there. I don't grasp at it. I let the thoughts unfold. I feel the feelings fully in my stomach. And I let it all be there. Same with seeking. Often I'll have, those conditioned doubt thoughts of maybe there's, I should be searching. Maybe there's something more to find, but it's just a random conditioned thought that pops up. There's no one in the middle that needs to be thinking that or needs to go anywhere or be anything. It's just what is popping up right now is a thought, I can see myself in the camera, a sound, a sensation. It's all just appearing, it's all just flowing. And so what that has meant practically for me is that just less and less do I grasp at thought, less and less do I let emotions dictate a narrative. It all just appears, and you kind of come to a place where it's all enjoyable in a way. It's not blissful. Life goes on, life is hard, life is normal. Like the Buddha said, life is suffering, but the difference is that it's all kind of enjoyable in a way because it's just appearing as it is, and that it feels miraculous, I would say, is what it feels like. Just to know that anything is happening at all when nothing could be happening is miraculous. And so now what do my days look like is just normality resumes, really. I spend time with friends and family. I live here with my girlfriend in London. I work, and I do fun stuff. I play football. I just get on with my life. And yeah, throughout the day, there's stress when I've got deadlines, but they're felt fully as, just raw sensation. And the thoughts around, to-do lists and, stressful thoughts, for example, are fully noticed. Sometimes I lean into them, I need to think about what I need to do at work, and that's fine. I just don't grasp at the narrative. I just let it all stay there. And yeah, it's pretty beautiful. It's improved the quality of my relationships so much, because I'm just not defensive. There's not this little person in here that needs to be defended. All there is what's currently arising throughout sensations and thought. And so, when moments of difficulty arise with friends or family or my partner, they're just it's just unfolding. It's just two. It feels like two expressions of the infinite just interacting. My partner also doesn't have a little person in the center of her experience. And so actually when we're interacting is just these two streams of experience just like colliding in that moment. And it's beautiful, so relationships have the quality is really, really improved. There's no defensiveness, no reactivity. And if there is, I don't grasp at it, and it's seen through very quickly. I could be triggered in an odd occasion. Actually, football is one where I do tend to get triggered. If someone lashes out at me and tries to foul me, I can get rattled, but I just laugh at it, because it's just the unfolding of what's happening right now. It's a conditioning in this human body that is how things is how things unfolded in that very moment. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. Don't think that anything's going to change for you. This insight permeates slowly. Don't chase experiential shifts or shifts in perception that will keep you seeking forever. And also notice that seeking itself is just a thought that is arising alongside all of the other combination of sensations and perceptions in any given moment. And there's no one in the middle that is doing the seeking. It's just arising. And what's really pleasurable for me these days, whenever I have a break from work, or the thought comes up that it would be nice to tune into the moment, I'll just take 15 seconds, a minute out of work, and I'll just sit there quietly and just listen to the moment fully. I'll listen to the sounds, close my eyes maybe, listen to the sounds, listen to the vibrations that are happening in my body, listen to the hum of the boiler. The Teams notification pops up if I get a message, and just tune in to the very nowness of now. Joan Tollefson, I've been reading for a while now, great writer, talks about this stuff. It's the bottomless now, it's this ever-present here now. And what I'm experiencing in that moment when I take a break from work, when I can just tune in for a moment and just relax into the moment, is blissful. It's just what is happening. Sounds are very intimate. I'm only experiencing them because I'm experiencing anything. I am experiencing, and so suddenly sounds have more of an intimate quality. But don't seek that kind of all sounds need to feel this way or that way. That it can permeate slowly, that kind of feeling, or it can never come. It doesn't make a difference. When I tune into the moment now, is very, very. It feels really nice, But I don't chase that state. A lot of the day is not like that. I need to work. I need to hit deadlines, and so I'm not constantly like blissed out and super tuned into the moment. That's like a nice thing that I can do for myself, is take a minute out and just kind of mini meditation, I suppose. I don't meditate formally anymore. Fully agree with Rupert Spira that we are meditation, and so I see it as a nice fun activity when I can just kind of have that 1 minute out, and tune into the moment. I hope there was some value in this video. The main takeaway is that there is no one in the middle here, and all of these are just appearing randomly, or due to a lifetime of conditioning. So don't expect anything to change. Once you don't find the self, that doesn't have to be a penny drop moment. You can't find the self, and so what's left is just what's happening, and it's always here and it's always now. Drop any questions. I'm happy to have chats with people. I love talking about this stuff. I find it's the most interesting question that you could ever have, I suppose. So do drop me a comment if you want to chat, or if you've got any questions. Have a good rest of the day. Speak to you soon.